So, you've already heard it 1,000 times. Just copy someone else's path, and then you will be successful, right? But what if I told you that trying to mimic others' path is exactly what's holding you back right now? You see, that confident friend, that influential person, that successful, rich businessman. Well, the truth is, success isn't about copying someone else and following their path. No, it's all about embracing your own path and playing that to your strengths. Because right now, you're just walking in the shadows they've created. It means you're behind them. You never get forward to their success. No, you will always be lagging behind. That is what I will be telling you and learning you in this video. And at the end, I have a nice little surprise for you. So, as the first point, trying to be that popular person in school. We've all had those moments that you're not the popular person, but you wanted to get the attention. So you will do dumb ways, changing the way you talk, changing the way you dress, changing things you're consuming. Because 9 out of 10 times, if you take just a sheet, what popular persons do is the more drinking the better, the more vaping, smoking the better, the more sex the better, and just making fun of other people's. That is your quick guide list to become that person, right? Yeah, well, it's not meant for everybody, but still, you're changing yourself to that person just to get that attention. Yeah, that is something I did wrong too. Even though I did not did the checklist, I started to change myself. I was now popular person 2.0, which is not yourself. So people will just call you fake. And that is what happened between Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, and Vin Diesel. The Rock became famous for his unique charm, charisma, work ethic, and he didn't try to be someone else. He just wanted to be him, whether at a wrestling competition or as an actor, he just stayed him. But as Vin Diesel, he tried copying in interviews at public places. He just became The Rock 2.0. He just took the checklist, checked everything off. Now I'm The Rock 2.0. That's how he presented himself. But it didn't resonate the same way, and he did not get the success in the same way. That is all has to do because of one thing. That is one thing I will tell you later in this video, because that is the hidden clue why you're failing at this right now. But let's get to example number 2. Mimicking your favorite influencer life. Well, first of all, how can you mimic it without being as rich or as having as many followers? Well, that's very important factor. I can be like the next Mr. Beast, but I do not have the millions to do that. I cannot say I will give away a Lamborghini because if I go to the bank, ask for a loan, or any loaner in general or investor, and I just say, I want to buy a Lamborghini and destroy it for a video. Yeah. If you're someone not called Mr. Beast, good luck. It needs to get hundreds of millions of views to get an ROI on that. But what if you are at the same level? You have the same amount of followers. If you take a percentage of it, the same amount of richness, the same amount of influential. Well, then you come to Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian. Both great persons, Obviously, know Kim K known for their obviously not to miss um, cushion, as we call it. And you have Kylie Jenner. Well, Kylie Jenner took inspiration from Kim K's sister with entrepreneurship, approach to social media businesses, and created her own business, which has made herself a self-made billionaire. Well, Kim K, on the other hand, did not want to follow that path. No, she wanted to mimic her because, as from point A to self-made billionaire, why will I be stupid to not follow that? Well, that is what Kim K thought of. So what she did, she used her fame, reality, TV show background to get that. And then it did not work. So she started to do that, but in a different industry, and then it worked for her. Now, as for the third point, copying someone's confidence. But in this case, I have it linked to a friend. But it's a bit forced. Confidence is different to everybody. Well, let's try to mimic that, right? A friend of you is always confident, speaks up in classes, has a ton of friends. You try to copy their confidence, but eventually you walk just like nothing. You walk in a room like them. You imitate their attitude, you change the way you talk, you just become that person 2.0 again. But then you start to feel empty because of a reason. And that has to do with Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Michael Jordan is considered one of the most confident people in the NBA sports. Not relatively known here in the Netherlands, but everyone knows LeBron James, right? Well, Michael Jordan became famous for his style, his way of thinking and talking, and how he speaks up. He was what we call now the GOAT. Well, LeBron James did the same, only it did not work for him just because he tried to be Jordan. And it didn't reach his full gratefulness that he had when he died. His own game, his own leadership, his own style of playing. That is what he did. Then it got him the fame. It got him that respect. And it got him that confidence that he wanted. Now, as for the fourth example I'm about to present you, maybe you're already thinking of the answer. Because I've given you many clues now. You can rewatch and you can think about it. But I hope that after you get the solution, which will be after these two examples, you understand why. That you then can connect these 5 examples with a dotted line to the solution. That is what I hope you will achieve after these 2 things. And then that you react to that. Now, let's get into point number 4. Wanting the same career as someone else, but they're successful. Now, that is very easy. You can talk about it long way, short way. But you see someone at your age, just, you can name it 1,000 words, but they're just better. It's the same as every entrepreneur that has that free life, rides that Lamborghini, or in my case, the Porsche GT3 RS. Well, I'm sitting here next morning, wake up and go to work, right? Yes, But I can be like them, but I know it won't make a difference. But just because they have that path does not mean that path is laid down for you. And you decide to follow that same route, even though it's not what you truly enjoy. The same thing I get a lot of ads on my YouTube for you feed is that I like to watch golf and chess. I find it just enjoyable, learning a few things, and when I chess, I will get better, better, and better, and better, which I want to do with a project on my shorts and with my videos. I just realized that I tried copying someone, Alex Hermosi. He posted 3, 4 shorts and blew up. So I thought, if I do that, I will blow up too. But you can see it's not working. And that is why I'm deciding, maybe I should do a different thing, which is this. But to get back to my point, you're just following a route that is not meant for you, and you're not enjoying it. And then I get to my point where I want to talk about. I get these ads about trading. Fun, but I know just because I've made this script and I've learned the lesson from the 48 Laws of Power, but also it's not something I enjoy, but yet it still spikes interest. Well, that was between Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. Steve Jobs created Apple. And by innovating the tech world with his unique vision, he didn't just copy others, he pushed the envelope and took risks. Well, Bill Gates had a similar goal, but yet still he is famous for another thing, which is Microsoft. Microsoft is mostly known for computer software and just business related tasks, Microsoft 365. So yet they both have succeeded, but not in the same way. And then as the last thing, trying to be someone else on social media. You're scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, and it's just like, I want to be the next golf and chess, just because we talk about it. Or Magnus Carlsen, if you're a bit known in the chess world. But it can be the same if for Formula 1. Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Ronaldo, Messi. There's my point of sports I watch most of the times, but you can relate to it. But if you start immediating their style, way of thinking, way of doing on social media, people just see right through it. And then you get to the point Ronaldo and Messi, whereas Ronaldo built his brand not only on football but also on social media. And he just shows his hard work and shows what he's doing. Well, as Messi, he's just a bit backed off. And that is what got his success. But now you're thinking, we've had these points, so there comes a solution, right? Yes. Well, I've already said it multiple times. Multiple times I've already said it. But just that you learn the lessons. All you're doing is just blending in and losing what makes you unique. People do not connect with copies. They connect with originals. That's just what I said with The Rock and Vin Diesel. The truth, it won't work. Success comes from when you add your own spin, not when you try to live someone else's life. The lesson from the third point. Confidence comes from within, not from copying someone else's behavior. People respect authenticity, not imitation. But you're not them. Your unique interests and strengths will get you much further in the long run than copying their exact path. But followers can sense something when something is not real. Be yourself and watch your followers grow because of your personality, not of a fake version of yourself. So, what should you do instead? Because you know the key to win and get success is not to copy. What you should do is learn from someone who is successful and most importantly, use it for your path. That is the solution to it behind all of this. You can copy someone else, but then you will just live in the shadows. Learn from what they do and use it for your path. So if it is use a specific way of marketing, use that specific way of marketing, adapt it to your business, and it grows. Learn from people, do not copy. That is the part truth in it. You copy the strategies they've done, not the person, not the business and everything. Just learn and copy where they're getting their success from. That is the most important thing. Because eventually, you're great at your strengths. They had strengths, they used it. That's what got their success. So just remember, out of this video, your path, your way, your path. That is the most important thing you need to remember. And it's a bit chaotic, I know. But that's what you're doing right now. I'm just mimicking yourself. But I'm not you. No. I like these books. I just like to have these books and talk about it. That's what I like. That is my part I'm doing good. And that is where people are resonating with. You can resonate with someone that you like, you have the same interests. But if you want to be that person, do not copy it. And that's why I'm changing to a different thing. I'm looking at 7 shorts or 6 shorts, but with a higher ROI. Because I know that I'm copying someone. No, I need to learn it and use it for my type of videos. And then we will see what happens. So take me only as an example. But if I blow up, which will happen in the next month, then you know that this shit works. That is something you need to remember when after a month you see me again.